Hi folks, hope you're doing well. This is the video I did earlier with them, taking these two out around lunchtime. Yes. Indeed, it was a good walk. It was good for them anyway. They enjoyed it. So, right, this one. Okay. I've spoken a lot about comparing Man United manager, England manager, with churches. Yeah. But let's understand something absolutely, okay? The Man United manager or the England manager leading their team with fear is one thing. As a football fan of Man United and England, it's not good to see. And so talking about that is saying why the manager's going wrong, because obviously you've got top quality players. If you allow them to be led by faith, then you've got more of a chance that they will actually be successful. Cool. But you can't compare it with the church. Because church is supposed to absolutely, completely be led by faith. We have a church now that's been led completely and totally and utterly by fear. That is absolutely and totally demonic. It is not necessarily demonic for a football team to be led by fear because the manager is more defensive thinking. Different thing completely. So although I've made the comparison, it doesn't mean I'm saying that they're equal, because no, not in any way, shape or form. There's nothing equal about that. One, it doesn't matter if it's fear-led. The church does matter, because you're supposed to be leading people to a better relationship with God, but also, they're supposed to come to you to go through Yeshua to Father. Well, most people are not even bothering to go to church, because they go to church and they see a place that doesn't offer anything. Well, say you have Manuel. So when Manuel is thanking God that hospitals and GPs will be are dealing with COVID and cancer, he's basically thanking God that he is not doing his job. He's thanking God that he is so useless and so incompetent as the pastor of a Pentecostal church that he will not lay hands upon people. The reason why they want their hands upon people is fear. It's complete and utter fear. Because when you prayed for people and it hasn't worked, that looks bad upon you and it looks bad upon God. Right? So what you should do when that happens, I've done videos about this over time. Look at my channel, you'll find videos done years ago about how to pray for people and what happens when it's not working and what you need to do. But basically, you've got to go to God. Of course you do. You go to God. You don't stop doing it. You go to God and you wait. This is why I've done videos talking about people like, a bloke called Todd, I've forgotten his other name, Todd White, I think his name is. Basically saying that everyone should just go out and lay hands upon people. No, you shouldn't. Because it was that sort of thinking that's led now to people not laying hands upon people. Go and do what you're called to do. Go and do what God is telling you to do. That's it. Do that. Basically, in a little bit of quickness, or in a quick way. Look, the thing about praying is you have to agree. You have to come in agreement. Look at the Lord's words. When he says, with two people, two or three, agree on one thing that I shall do. Healing comes under that. There'd be no point, generally speaking, if I'm praying for somebody who is terminally ill, and that person that person can only believe right now that God can get rid of their headache. I believe that God can heal them totally. So, but if I'm praying that God can heal that person totally, and I'm praying for that, but they're only praying for a headache, we're not coming in agreement, are we? Therefore, that won't be due. I've got to bring that person up, or I've got to come down to their level. That's the only way that is going to work. And the problem is, most people who pray for people don't understand it. They have no understanding of what they're doing because they're not called to it. Because quite often, churches will have older women as the prayer ministry. And they'll be the people praying for people. And it's utterly stupid. Get the people that are called to do that. Get the people who it's their ministry to do that. Have understanding. But there you go. They won't lay hands upon people because of fear. Fear is the reason. And so there you go. It is what it is. It is absolutely and totally what it is. Fear is the point. When you have a church led by fear, that's the reason why you have some bizarre understandings as what truth is. That's why you have cancel culture. That's why you have all these things according to the world in the church. Because if you have a church that's led by fear, who is leading and guiding the church? It has to be the one that promotes fear. It can't be the one that promotes faith, can it? The church gave itself to the devil a long time ago. And that's the reality. This is where we are. It doesn't mean it has to stay that way. It doesn't. But again, the idea that intercessory prayer would replace laying on of hands is demonic. Demonic. Intercessory was the word I couldn't say in the last video. That's just, yeah. Me. Yeah. Sometimes I know the word, but I just can't find it. Well, I found it now, so there you go. As I say, look, the reality is, it is what it is. We are where we are. It's not about trying to label the church, trying to beat on the church. It's about saying, look, this is the reality. We have to deal with this. We have to get to the point where we can say, okay, this is where we are. So, okay, where do we want to be? Because that is the point. Where do we want to be? We don't want to be there. We need to come away from this, but we can't come away from it until we recognise that we're actually there. If we're constantly in denial and thinking like most churches that we're doing a phenomenal job, why do they need to come away from this demonic thinking? If they think their thinking is godly. Yeah. So all this cancel culture crap, all this banning people from church, it's nothing unusual. Yeah, the Jewish church in the time of Yeshua, would anyone say that was doing things according to the nature of Father? It was to the nature of a father, but the father of this world, the God of this world. It was his nature. If you don't like what someone is doing or saying, you crucify them. Right? That's not loving, that's not graceful, that's not merciful. So cancel culture, banning people from church, is the version of crucifying. Because they can't crucify people now, but they can do that. I said, when you have an understanding that church means everything, without church you can't get into heaven, crucifying is spiritually murdering that person. Well, it's spiritual crucifixion, isn't it? Not physical, spiritual. Yeah. Well, because in their own understanding, they are suffocating you spiritually because they're taking you away from fellowship. Right? If they're taking you away from fellowship, it means in their own understanding they're suffocating you spiritually. And so therefore it's spiritual crucifixion. There's me teasing Bambini, as I always do on walkies. Got to do the boo bit. I hide behind a tree, and when he comes I go boo. There you go. Anyway, that'll do you for now. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Be a blessing, be blessed, and have a fantastic rest of the week. Speak to you soon. Enjoy it. Bye bye.